No, I just sat down. You can calm down, cat. No, Yumiko. Hello, angry young man. Try not to hit the light that's by my head because I'm trying to arrange it. So we are going to work on these dragons today and hopefully finish this guy up. I just added another wash on to kind of blend the glaze. Also, my cat is already being a pain in the butt. I just sat down. But, so yeah, we're gonna work. I'm kind of tired of painting the color yellow, but I do have to do some yellow on these, so it's gonna be fun. And I'm wearing yellow. I guess maybe it's my, revenge on the yellow. So we're gonna do another layer on the eyes really quick. Probably should have gotten, what's it called? Can you hear me today, by the way? It shows my mic on, but just want to make sure everyone can hear me. Let me go. Sit down. Awesome. Just making sure. So I am cosplaying Belle today. I must have subconsciously picked yellow because I painted so much yellow yesterday. It was ridiculous. Hey Nick, how are you? I should have gotten one of these finished guys to show you, but I don't have them. I forgot to grab them out of my case. Actually, give me 1 second. I'm going to poof for just a minute. I'm not going offline. I'm going to grab the other dragons I finished so you guys can see what they look like. So I'll be right back. So these are some of the finished ones. These are from the board game Super Dungeon Explorer. Here's some of the cards from it. They're like hatchlings. They're little dragons. They spawn out of this thing and then they come to try to eat you. But here's some of the finished ones right here. And it comes with 6 in the set with the spawner. And I did not see it host, but thank you, Anthony. How are you doing today, sir? Also, hello, Jeff. I see you too. Back to doing their eyes. It is a Belle outfit. And I must have subconsciously picked it because I was like so mad at yellow yesterday, and now I'm wearing yellow, so. I'm actually glad I grabbed them so I could see how I did their eyes last time. Yumiko, can you sit down? No, you don't need to come up here right now. I have the windows open, but looks like it's gonna storm, so I'm kind of excited. Highlighting up their yellow. So what I did with their eyes is I do start with the yellow and then I do black. Like I leave some of the yellow showing around it. Oh, cool. That's okay. I like storms. I'm okay with that. I don't have to go out today, so they installed something on the side of my house yesterday when we were trying to figure out what it was because it was. Ugh! I said no. Sit. There you go. Sit down. Yumiko does not know the term no. I'm sorry. She knows it. She just doesn't care. Oops. No, you're being a bad girl. Hopefully the storm is longer than last time, because it was very short last time, and I was very disappointed. I was hoping for a longer storm. It literally only lasted while I went into my shower, so it was like 15 minutes long. I was so mad. You're such a brat. You've been sleeping on me all day. Just doing all the yellow on them. Yeah, my goal was, since we're kind of still in the Corvus phase and it's looking like we might be rolling back in some areas because of scary stuff. I'm hoping to get this mostly painted up, at least a lot of it painted, so we can, when I play the game, I'll have like a lot of painted minis with it. And I got some of the characters. I got the boss. I got to do like the mini bosses and stuff. I think I'm gonna start working on the kobolds next too. That's what I did the other spawners for. They were for those. I only got 2 kobolds primed so far and built, but that's one thing cool about this game is you have to build and prime, like build, prime, and paint them yourself. The later on expansions come with them already pre-built, but you still get to paint them yourself. You can paint them any way you want. I tend to paint them similar to the cards just because I kind of like how most of them look. I've done minor changes here and there, but nothing crazy. We actually had all 6 dragons painted up at one time. I was sharing the board game with a friend, but then when I moved out, I took, we bought a new game for me, and I took out the 3 that weren't painted here to him so I could have my 3 new ones to paint, so they were all mine. I think he had also painted the paladin, but I can't remember offhand. But the paladin isn't one of my next ones to paint too. The paladin, the elf ranger. I was basically people I knew that would want to play with me. I was asking them what characters they prefer to play, so I'd work on those to paint them up first. My sister, of course, the elf. That's why I'm painting up that one for her. Doing lots of yellow on this, and then I'll start working on the eggs. As you can see, they end up getting quite a bit lighter with the highlights and stuff. Right now, they're just a dark red. But that's one thing I'm going to work on today. I just want to make sure the yellow is all smooth on them so it doesn't look really goofy. Because I don't like the way paints look when they're all chunked up on stuff. So I'd rather do multiple layers than just chunk it on in one big one. Even though most of that yellow is going to be covered by Ooh, 2 meetings back to back. What if the one runs over? Are you going to be okay? I can scream really loud into the mic. Would that wake you up? Or keep you awake, I guess you could say? Because you're an hour ahead, aren't you, Anthony? So it's about 5:30 your time. I remembered correctly. Yay! I did my own version of karaoke too. I put Anastasia on and I literally sang to every song because I know them all and I freaking love that movie so much. Since I can't karaoke with you people, I just did my own little solo performance for the cats. Okay, the seal is done. Oops. If it was Yoda, wouldn't it be fall asleep, do not? I want to hydrate myself because I'm thirsty. And it's still a little warm in here. I am a little disappointed that my hair didn't curl like it usually naturally curls better and looks frizzy because of the humidity. I like Yoda, he's funny. Alright. Guess we'll do... So I added a wash on the crystals just to blend them a little better towards here. And I like how they look a lot better now. And then I'm going to add a glaze onto them. So it's a... You can get clear... like clear glazes, or not glazes, but clear like sprays and stuff to like not make things shiny, but make it not chip. But I actually want the gloss for the crystal because it's supposed to be shiny. So I guess we'll do that. And then work on it. So I'm gonna pour some of this. Woo! Some, not all of it. And this will need multiple coats. Yumiko, you gotta put your head down. This will need multiple coats as well because of to make it look smooth. So I use this for all my gems and crystals, and I use it on the dragon eyes too, so one reason I had it out. And like when I try to make things look like semi-glossy or wet, if I want it to be like just a little wet, I'll water it down some. Like for my zoanthropes, they're like these little alien things that are big brains. I water it down for their brains, so it looks like semi-glossy without actually being super shiny. But it looks, I guess moist would be the word, and it's kind of makes them look icky. That's how they're supposed to look. Try and get in. Yeah, it looks like what they installed in my house too is like a Wi-Fi booster, so hopefully it doesn't seem to be helping much yet, but hopefully it will help. Trying to get all this glaze. Oh, I want the whole gem to be glossy. So you can see it's like shiny now. I'll add more to it too after it dries. Yes. I thought it was a signal to call to the Children of the Corn, their spy camera. We were coming with all sorts of weird stuff it could have been. The fact that it was like right outside my bedroom, I was freaking out because the guy installing was like peeking in my window, and I'm like, nope, close the blinds. Yeah, the gloss is really cool. It gives them... Sit down. It gives it really cool effects. We're actually gonna do the dragon's nails when we... Are you gonna... You're gonna get off, you're not gonna sit down. You can't be turning around every 2 seconds. Come on. I love this cat, but I don't want her freaking tail in my paint. Hey. You wanna say hi to everyone? Have you sit down. Thank you. I actually can't wait for cooler weather because I can wear some other costumes that I'm dying in them. But I might start... I have the material for my Sailor Mars costume, so I think I'm going to start cutting that out and working on it. I don't have the red, but I have the actual, like, leotard part. So, give me another thing to work on. Keep me busy. Yeah. She's a purr monster. She's always purring. It's ridiculous. She doesn't understand when she's in the way, though. Oops, I got paint up on my brush. Alright, we'll work on their little nails while the gloss is drying. Oh, I actually wanted to do a dry brush on them. Oh, I did lava on their bases too, so I can work on that as well. So actually, I take that back. I'm going to do a quick dry brush before I do the nails, so I don't have to redo them. I get my dry brush. Lost my brushes. Okay, well, this is not really a dry brush, but it'll work. So I guess I did do lava on all our bases, so I will be doing it on these guys as well. I mean, it makes sense. Starfire has lava too. I didn't remember doing their bases. I don't think this is the right color gray, but I don't know where my other gray is. All my colors are missing because I've been rearranging stuff. We're going to hold this for a minute. There you go. Thank you. Oh, it still works. So what are you all up to tonight? Anything fun? I also have an Anna costume from Frozen, the first. I'm going to work on because my sister does Elsa. I thought that'd be fun to do. But that one I do not have the material for. I just have the pattern for. There we go. I don't trust my other kit. Cool. You do painting strings too, right, Jeff? I popped in a few of them. Yeah, and I always liked Anna, so I thought it'd be cool to do, especially since my sister does Elsa. So the two sisters. We were gonna try that for C2E2 one year. Doing his little toes now. Oh, the Sky Dwarves. What were you working on before the I'm blanking on their name. Oh my gosh. The guys with the dragon. I don't know if his name. I'm horrible at names right now. I'm like blanking on everything. Okay. I was thinking of other army for some reason, but I want to paint a succubus chick I started. She's not from a game or anything. She's just a cool looking model. But every time I try to pick her up, she stabs me. and she's actually drawn blood a few times. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Vulcan. I hear the rain starting, just no storming yet, just a little bit of rain. There's a giant machine out there, though, working in the field next to me, which is kind of cool. So she technically, I can actually say for that model, I painted her with my own blood because she's gotten blood on her that I could not get off. So luckily she's my model. She's really cool looking, though. But man, she's mean. And I thought my Tyranids were bad, but that girl is not nice. She's a succubus too, so that doesn't help too much. Oh, my music stopped. Give me a second. I need to figure out a better... I think I need to come up with a playlist on something else because my phone doesn't like playing it. Apparently, it likes to keep stopping it. Alright, let me see. Do you have your little... You do have little paws. His little paws are hiding underneath there. Yep. So anyone that goes after that mini will be cursed. And I need to do this guy. This guy's the biggest nail, so he's easiest to paint because his nails are individual and you can actually see them on the model. You gotta stop, cat. It's a really cool mini, but she is not... And I've been pinning her because she has so many little pieces and they keep breaking off. She's also dancing on a big pile of skulls, so that doesn't help at all. I don't have the skulls here, but I do have her. I can show you in a minute. Did I give... No, I didn't. Yep. It's okay, they can come to my house any day. As long as they don't bring all the freaking crazy demons, or angels and demons with them. Monsters are okay, but... Painting his little claws. His little cute claws. He's like, I'm gonna grab you. And then he has toenails too. Did I get all of them? Make sure I got all her toenails. It's kind of cool seeing how, like, it starts out and then it ends up finishing, because these are the same model. Ooh, I almost did the wrong color on his nails. He doesn't want to be a fancy dragon, he wants to be a normal dragon. There's also Ghost Flame Wolves, which is in another set I have, which is going to be fun to paint. And there's just a bunch of ghosts, too, that go with that, the Witch Queen, Witch Queen I painted. Oh, I hear the thunder. Alright. Still looks kind of light outside, but I hear thunder now. And it's cooling off a bit, which is nice. Alright, so these eggs look like they have like almost like stripes on them. If you look at the card on the... Oh, you can't really see where I'm pointing. At the screen, they have like stripes on them. So, not sure I'm going to do that yet, but I will figure out something. Here's my wish flush. Take this guy too. So we're going to start with this color. This is a very light yellow, almost whitish. But the eggs have this whitish color on them. So we're going to try a quick, see if I can mix it up more. I hate mixing up paints, they take forever. I'm just not good at mixing paints. This one is kind of dried out, but we will manage. So it's a very pale yellow. I'm doing a dry brush, so I'm getting as much of the paint off the brush as I can. Dry brushed over this egg. So now it looks more whitish again instead of the bright yellow egg. And now we're going to add a little bit of this. It's not quite white, it's like a cream. It's called Pallid Witch Flesh. We're going to add a little bit of this into the yellow and see if I can make it even a little lighter. A little lighter without going super bright. And with this one, we're actually going to highlight up. We're not going to dry brush this one. I want to make sure that thing's dry before I touch it. I'm leaving the areas right next to like the stone and stuff not as highlighted up, so it looks like they're shadowed. More so than... There's like creepy squeaking going on outside. I'm not sure. Ah! It's got my hair in it, so let's put this back. Hopefully some of the primer didn't take super well over here because it's not sticking the best, the paint, but we'll make it do. Also, happy Wednesday, everyone, or hump day, or whatever you want to call it. All my days are kind of blurring together. But that one shook my house. I don't know if you guys can hear the thunder over the camera, so if for some reason I lose power, I apologize. Because that one shook the whole house, and that was kind of cool. Trying to touch the glaze still. These eggs look a little small for the dragons to come out of, but apparently they do. I have my own background noise going on. I'm not sure if I want to do the stripes like they have on there, or if I'm going to do something else. I'm trying to debate. Well, let me ask you guys for next time. Would you want to see more characters, or would you want to see more monsters? I said I have some kobolds. I have, the mini bosses, their names are Rex. I'm not sure what they're supposed to be, but they're these big guys with clubs. I have like the paladin, the elf, the dwarf, the barbarian. So I have a lot of characters still too. Then lots of just kobolds. Okay. So now we're going to do. I think I'm going to stick with this over white. I might use white for the highlights, but. So we're going to do this Pallid Witch Flesh by itself this time. Yeah, it's fun. Okay, I'll do monsters next time and then heroes the time after. How about that? Now this is kind of dry, so before we do more of the egg, I'm going to do another gloss on here. Are you getting off? Move. My partner left me, so now I can actually breathe on my lap. So do more of this gloss on here. Without getting on the bone, because we don't want the bone to be shiny. I mean, I don't want the bone to be shiny. Oh, thank you, Anthony. Just a second. Let me get this gloss in here. There we go. So if you can see on the card, there's little like lines on the eggs. So we're going to try to do something similar. Can't find the right water. They are fun. I have a few heroes I'm trying to finish up. I don't know if you've seen them, Jeff. I have her. So I gotta finish her up, but she's getting close to done. I have him, who he can be a mini boss or a hero. He's pretty fun though. He's a crazy pumpkin head with a scythe. And then these two I also am working on. And Kisa. These are the only the ones that are started painting. I have a couple others that are in the process, but the cat got here. Okay. So I'm gonna water down this Pallid Witch Flesh. I might actually give it a little white in there just because it's a little darker than I was expecting. But I'm not going to use pure white. The only time I would use pure white is for the very highlights and stuff. Okay, this is a little lighter now. That's good. Yeah, Pallid Witch Flesh is like a creamy color. I like using it as a base, or I use like a pale gray as basis, depending on what I'm painting. Like when I did the wolf, I started with a pale gray to give it the shadows in there. Other colors, like when I did, actually she's a good example. When I did her, oops, I started with like a very pale blue, so you can see the blue like streaks in there as I highlight it up. So really, like, use a base color depending on what kind of shadows you want, what color shadows. Okay, we're gonna attempt this weird liney things. I can't really see it on my camera too well, unfortunately. The music stopped again. Hello there, sir. How are you? It's going. I'm painting dragons. I glazed the crystal too, so you can see it's all shiny now. How's it going for you? I'm trying to do these like lines on these. Oh. Ah, thank you for all the sobbies. Thank you, Zach. I appreciate it. Well, I get to see them all coming now. Yay! Thank you, sir. You're helping me to my goal. If I reach in... I'm still going. If I reach enough subs to get my next emote slot, I'm going to wear my Diva Bunny costume on stream. It's cool, they're still coming. And none of them fell out yet. They're all staying in there. Also, sir, I might have a picture for you tonight, which I was going to tell you. If you're in the mood to draw, anyways. Oh, you unlocked some emotes, too. Woo! But thank you very much. I really appreciate all those subs. I wish you guys could see this better, but it's hard to... I'm not sure. You can see kind of it. I can't hold up too much. It's not going to work. The kind of lines on the eggs. I'll take a better picture of it when I'm done. It actually looks pretty cool. Not exactly like they have it, but pretty freaking close. I have my the dragons that are finished here so people could see the eyes and stuff. Which maybe we'll do the eyes on them. But I want to try to finish the spawner today. That's the goal. It shouldn't be too hard. If my power doesn't go out, because it just flickered. we are getting a storm over here, which is really cool. I'm excited. I love storms. It actually looks really cool. It almost looks like the... Ooh, they have like sparkles in them too. I don't think I'll be able to do the sparkles, but... Hey, do what you can on the eggs, right? It's not going to be perfect, but... I have to keep going over it because I did a very watered down paint because I didn't want to just chunk it up. That's crazy. 3 times? I don't have to mow my lawn. I just get creepy people mowing my lawn for me. And the guy like yells booga booga outside my window, so I just kind of close my blinds when he's around. I'm sure he's nice, but just him shouting random stuff outside my window kind of freaks me out. Just like when they were installing something yesterday, the guy was like peeking in my window, so I wanted to close it because I didn't trust him. So this egg is the one that isn't taking, I think it didn't get enough primer on it because it's kind of not liking the paint too much. But we're still going to make it work. Why did you play? There you go. He was on like this lifting and he kept looking in my window and he's like installing something. So I closed my blinds because I didn't want him peeking in my bedroom. It was kind of creepy. I'm sure he didn't mean anything by it, but it was still a big nope. Well, he was like right outside of it on the lift, so I don't think he was like purposely like looking in, but it was just like right in his line of sight. And he wasn't like going like this or anything. It was still, yeah, it was still kind of weird. Really growled at him. That was pretty funny. Alright, do this other egg over here. Trying to get it all the way down without getting it on the crystal. Yes, thank God for blinds. Do you know these stripies on the eggs are kind of fun? Because they're very subtle, but if you look closely, they look really cool. And I mixed just enough pinks. It's about ready to run out, even on my wet palette. I am not shading the inside of the eggs because I'm leaving them their darkness, the darker color, I guess you could say. It's hard to, I know you might be able to see it kind of, the lines on it. I don't want them super obvious. Now we will find my black paint if I can. Where are you, black paint? There. I need like a paint tray on here, like a nice little paint rack, so I don't lose my paint all the time. Yeah, go back music. Yeah, all my paints are kind of like all over the place right now, so I need to get like a nice, because I've been painting at home, it'd be nice to have like a little shelf with all the paints so I don't have to keep looking for them when I move them. Actually, we're going to switch to my tiny brush. We don't need you anymore, so you can go over there. So we're going to do the circles on the dragon's eyes. My nose is just sorry, I think I got kitty hair in it. So, do this on my wet palette. Yeah, my friend was building one. I'm like, oh, I should make like one that stands on my desk. Because he did his like hanging on the wall, and I'm like, I don't really have anywhere in my bedroom to hang it on a wall near my desk. So I figured maybe a nice standing shelf would be nice, easy to get to. Alright, we will do your little eyes. Still kind of creepy right now with no pupils. Okay, Nicole, you got cat fur in my nose and it's making me want to sneeze. One pupil done. So I just left the yellow on the outside of his eye. I almost said like a My Little Pony eye, but most of you probably don't know what that looks like. I usually don't like doing the eyes when my cats are around. I usually wait till she's sleeping because she likes to jump up here. But so far she's staying down. I'm trying to make it look like a perfect circle. So now I do the little dragon down here. The good thing about this black is it's even watered down, it still covers a decent. I was painting yellow on an army for someone, and I had to do like 4 or 5 layers of the freaking base yellow just to make it not show through. No, Yumiko, I see you. Sorry, these are I get kind of quiet when I'm doing the eyes because it's a bit of concentration to make sure I don't mess it up. But yellow is one of the worst colors to paint, at least in large quantities. Oh, an angry one. I tried that ice cream and it was really, really good. And it actually has the Pop Rocks in it, so it was yummy. I have to for the little eyes because I don't want to redo it all. So his little eyes are done. And I do have to do a touch up actually with the yellow right here. Well, I wasn't sure because it said it was sour, sweet and sour ice cream, but it's mostly like a vanilla with a sour wild cherry like swirl through it, and then blue pop rocks. Which one fell on the ground? And my cat tried licking it. She did not like it. No, Yumiko. You have to stay down right now. I'm doing eyes. No, Yumiko. I did mess up a little bit on this eye, so I'm just going back in and fixing it. There we go. Yeah, it's like a limited edition flavor, but who's calling me? Oh my gosh, people call me while streaming, even though they know I'm streaming. Some people have the worst timing. So I'll do the eye on here. At least these guys I did the eyes on. The other guy, all my characters are just like pupilless creeps right now. As you can see with Kisa, she could stare into your soul. Ooh. Those eyes are a lot more complicated because they're like actual anime eyes painted on there. So those are a lot of concentration for those little guys. Okay, that one's done. These eyes aren't perfectly circle, so it's a little difficult. I didn't think I did it as high up yellow with them last time. Man, I can't remember the last time I painted these dragons. It's been a while. At least 4 years ago. I've been slowly catching up on their prom. These little guys are from the board game Super Dungeon Explorer. It's like a dungeon crawl game with little minis, and there's like mimics and treasure chests, and you get equipment to upgrade your guys, and there's bosses and mini bosses. It's really cool. Also, welcome. This guy has like an evil eye. I don't know what's going on with this dragon. Alright, and then this guy needs his eyeballs still. Yeah, they're really, really cute. It's a really fun one. I'm trying to get the stuff painted up, so like when it's all in the clear, I'm gonna have some people come over and play because I think it'd be fun. I'm doing like getting a bunch of the heroes painted up. I got the the actual boss painted up. These are like little spawners. Then there's kobolds that you can fight, and ghosts, and like flame wolves and stuff. It changes up every time too, so it's like really cool. There's so many different heroes you can play that you can play like 20 times and play a different hero each time. It's awesome. So I've been asking my friends like which ones they want to play and painting them up. The ones that they'll most likely use, so I make sure they have them ready. My favorites I painted up right away, of course. Yeah. And each character has like its own special abilities. There's each one has its own armor and health. And the boss doesn't come out until you kill all the monsters in the spawner. But there's like chests and stuff too you can open, but sometimes they're mimics and you have to be careful. No, Yumiko, I'm doing the eyes. I told you. It's a lot of fun though. And you can have multiple players. You can have quite a bit of people playing it too. It's definitely one I can't wait to play again. Like, one of my favorite abilities is a rogue. And she has the ability called Bamf, and she literally can teleport across the dungeon. It's pretty fun. And now monsters all have health and stuff, and if you don't kill the spawners, they will keep spawning monsters. But not past their maximal limit. Like, the Dragon Clutch, for example, can only spawn these 6 guys. And if these 6 are on the board, no more will spawn. But if you kill one, there's a chance it can respawn next turn. The kobolds, there's more spawners for them. There's 4, and there's a lot more kobolds in the dungeon. But these guys, if they're all swarming you, they get +1 attack because they're helping each other. No, Yumiko, down. I'm painting last eye. Then you can come up here. Thank you. She doesn't understand. Yeah, it's just a really fun. It's a really fun game. And there's some really cool heroes, and they've been taking characters from their other games and making them into heroes for this too, which is really cool. I've actually cosplayed as one of the heroes too. No, Yumiko. Ooh, he has like a weird eye right now. Gotta fix that. Yeah, there's a lot of cool ones, and they start releasing like mini bosses too that you can either play as a mini boss, or they have a different card stat for their hero abilities, so you can play them as either or. So you can even fight different bosses each time. I only have 1 expansion or 2 expansions right now, but they still come with other heroes and everything. The one in this one is Starfire, a giant dragon who will eat you. And the mini bosses in this are rocks. They're just like giant ogre type people. That's done. Alright, now we'll use white to try to highlight up these eggs a little more. And I watered that down a little too much. And I'm sad the storm just like kind of stopped. I know you said it was a small one right now, right, Jeff? And the bigger one will come later, but I was kind of hoping the thunder would continue during my stream. The cat got fur in my eye. So now I'm going in and highlighting up in certain areas on the eggs. Now it's bone time. I don't have my Ushakti bone. I think this one's almost out, actually. I should have picked up a new one of this, but I don't know if there's enough left to do anything with. Probably not, so we will not use that one. Another paint to add to my list I need. And I just cleaned my dry brush and don't know where I put it. No, there it is. Uh-oh, you're lurking. So this is, it's called Screaming Skull. It's a light creamish color. And I'm going to use the dry brush. And then we'll go in and highlight up after it. And get underneath it without getting it all over the... I am supposed to stream tomorrow too, but there's a chance, depending on how my dental appointment goes, that I might not. But the plan is to stream. It's early enough, I think I'll be okay. So I'm doing a heavy dry brush on it so you can see the skull highlights more. Now you gotta do it on. I hate the dentist though, so I'm really nervous about going. These look like little like alien monster things. The way the bones are, they look like those face huggers, kind of. I'll use some of the white to add it into the bone color. Ooh, too light. Here we're trying to go in there and get his teeth. And to finish it off, we will do just the white, and then our spawner will be done. Thank you. It's a crystal one, so it's really cool. That's the spawner for the dragons. My goal was to finish it tonight. I think I'm going to. I wanted to do something else with the eggs, but I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with them. White. That's what I was looking for. But thank you, sir. How have you been? Haven't seen you in a while. Just in general. Woo! So I'm doing a very light dry brush on this white. Just the tips, like the highest up areas. And as soon as I can figure out what I want to do with the eggs. Yeah, it rained like a few minutes and it kind of like stopped. And I was like, no, I want more storms, so I'm hoping for more. I still really want to have a bonfire too. I'm in the mood for s'mores. cat's been back in the office, so she's driving me nuts. We'll do some speckle effects. I don't have a fan brush though. Just started by you? Yeah, it rained for a few minutes. Like, they heard the thunder earlier, and then it kind of stopped. Trying to figure out the best way to do these speckles. Do I have a... You're a pretty big brush. So we were going to attempt something that I've never done before, so wish me luck. Looks like they're white, so we'll do white speckles, I guess. This is going to be interesting for sure, because I've never done this before. So I'll get some white paint on there. And I should probably cover my computer so I don't get stuff on it. But we're going to try this. That did not work at all. Okay. Well, I was going to try to speckle it, but I don't know quite how to do that. I guess I could try with the dry brush, maybe. Maybe better. I'll try with the dry brush. Maybe that'll work better. Because I got paint all over my finger now. Nope. So we will do, actually, do I have the pale purple? I think I do. We'll mix this purple in with the white. I thought I had a different purple. I do. It's over there. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to do something different since that didn't work. I have this light purple. I'm going to mix a little tiny bit of it in with the white, and then I'm just going to literally use my dry brush and dab on areas to make it have like a purple speckle effect. Is it you, Lily? Lily! Hey! Stop it. I thought something was outside my cat just being dumb again. Lily? Stop it, please. So you can't see it a ton, but there's a little bit of purpley speckles in there. Now I'm going to actually use my brush to do this, my little one. Nope, that's my medium one. There's my little one. Do some water. Why are you stopping music? Still looks like I have some internet issues. Try it now. And almost done. Alright, and we are going to call this one done. So our spawner is done. So we're going to move you out of the way and go back to Mr. Dragons. Now is the time for their pupils. So I will need white again. And thank you, sir. So these dragons have, oops, I got white on my finger from this stuff. Bye, Jeff. See ya. Thanks for popping in. So they have two highlights. They have a big one near the top and a small one at the bottom. So we will do him first so I can keep them similar. I got white all over my hand. So a little dot right there. And one eye. Done. So his eyes are done. Oops, go there. Do your eyes next. So at least these dragon eyes are a little easier to do than the other ones because they're all anime style. So I do like 4 or 5 layers just on the pupil alone. I might have made his pupils too big, so I'm going to have to go back and do those. Keep adding water because I don't want the white to be chunky because it'll make it even harder to do the pupils. Try and make it round without messing it up. And last dragon, and then we'll go do some touch-ups with the black. Thank you, Alex, sir, in just a second. eyes are done, minus the glaze. But I will hydrate since Alex demands it. No. I'm pulling my own hair. It's not good. Is this my small one? Yeah. So now we're going to go in and just touch up. Demands! I was teasing you, sir. So we're going to go in and touch up a couple areas. I did the pupils a little too big. So does anyone have something they really missed doing this year that they can't wait to do next year? Assuming we're in the clear. Murder. Technically, that's not being stopped. I watched a movie you'd probably like, Alex. It's called Pathology. It's about a bunch of medical students planning the best way to commit a murder, and it's pretty interesting. You'd probably like it though. It's on Netflix. I watched Cult or Oculus or something. It was a Cult or I think it was Oculus, and that one was pretty good too. I've been marathoning like horror movies and then watching Shakugan no Shana between, which that anime series I love, but it got a little weird for a short time. And now I'm past that little weirdness, so I can finally enjoy it again. But it got a little crazy. I lost my medium brush. There it is. Do some more gloss. So, actually, we're gonna let the dragons dry probably. So we will do some red highlights while we're waiting for that to dry. Yeah, it was a pretty good one though. What was another one I watched recently that was pretty good? About a baby, and I can't remember what it was called. There's been some good ones out there though. Also, I forgot this dress gets glitter everywhere, so I have glitters everywhere. There we go. So we'll start the highlighting up while we're waiting for the eyes to dry. Whoops, come here, dragon guy. That was a horror series I want to start watching on Netflix too. Just haven't gotten to it yet. Trying to play catch up on a lot of things I've been wanting to do when I have the energy to actually do it. Oops, move this card out of the way since he's done. So the red dry is a lot darker, as you can see. But it smooths out where the wash was. Which is what we want. And it covers up where I messed up with the dry brushing with the gray. But it's watered down, so it'll be very smooth going on. You won't see as big of a transition. At least that's the goal. I don't remember exactly what colors. Oh, I forgot his little claws. I can go back and do those though. Music stopped again. I apologize. One day it will like me. So I didn't do his 4 claws. I just did the ones on his feet. So I will have to go back and fix that. But you see, you could tell like it's blended together better now than just the wash over it. And then we'll slowly highlight up and up until we get the reddish orange color that those guys have. So lots of blending on these guys. Come on, music, stop being weird. I'm rambling a little bit, I apologize. I said play. Thank you. I will hydrate in my lovely flavored water. There. Trying to make sure I don't touch what's wet because you don't want to smear it, especially when I just did the eyes. I got one of those things that you use to hold like smaller miniatures, but I cannot for the life of me figure out where I put it. That's what happens when you clean. You can't find stuff anymore. But it's a little thing that you can hold the miniatures with, so you don't have to worry about hitting the wrong areas and stuff. I can't use it for my big monsters because of the fact that they're too big, but it's like, you can hold like these guys fine. I'm getting a little... I'm trying to get in there without getting it all over the ground. Actually, too. While we're doing that, we can also do the lava in the cracks. So I need my small brush for that. I'm doing just the parts you can see, because there's no point in trying to go underneath them when you're not going to be able to see it at all anyways. So we're starting the lava on them. Trying to find all the little cracks that are hiding. Doesn't have a ton of cracks, it looks like, but they have some. Probably a bad one to start on because you can't really see. Yeah. Guess we can just do all the lava on these guys. Start with the darkest red for the lava. I don't care if I get it on the edge right now because that's going to be, I'm going to turn that black at the end. So you see I'm starting to do lava down there. I wasn't going to originally on these guys, but because their mommy dragon has it and the other ones did, I figured, well, I should probably make them all look the same. So they now get lava too. The kobolds will not have lava on their bases, though. I don't really picture kobolds with the lava. Just like none of the heroes have lava on their bases, because none of them are, like, lava-based, I guess you could say. I'll try and get underneath his belly. It's a little hard to get in certain areas because he's already on the base. I probably should have done this before I attached them. But it is what it is. Alright, see ya. So their lava's on his base now, and now we got the last wormling to do. Those are hatchlings. I don't know if he's the whelp or the wormling. He is the wormling. He's the whelp and they're the hatchlings. That's one of my favorite models, the two dragons together, because they're just so freaking cute. You don't feel bad hurting them. Except for they try to burn you alive. And for the lava, or if you, I've used the lava technique to also do magical, like, energy flowing on cracked surfaces. Um, and that turned out really cool, actually. So maybe I'll do that on one of the mages or something, give them the magical energy at the bottom. So it comes with game boards, too, that have, like, little squares on them. I think they're 1-inch squares, maybe 2-inch. But, so it's easy to see, like, their distance and everything. It's basically like D&D, but, like, a dungeon crawl. And you're not actually, like, you do have one person DMing, but you don't, like, keep the same characters every time and stuff. But it is a lot of fun to play. Especially with the right group of people. I don't know why, Alex, but I was like trying not to debate what I wanted for dinner tonight, and then for some reason when I saw tentacles, I'm like, I'm gonna have chicken tenders. I think that sounds good. So thank you for deciding for me with squids, I guess. Not quite sure how that works, but yeah. So in the stream, I'll start the oven, and then I'll hop on. I'll cook dinner while I'm changing and stuff, and then I'll hop on Overwatch with you. Now let's give this dragon a red eye. Yeah, I'm not sure why squids all of a sudden made me want chicken tenders, but they did. So thank you for helping me decide dinner. It's also pretty fast. Oh, so it's gonna. Well, I'll turn it on as soon as I start dinner while I'm changing that, so at least can update while I'm getting food and stuff. It's gonna take me a few minutes to change, anyways. Oops, get this in there. All right, so their lavas are done. Yeah. Actually, mine are chicken fingers, so I guess it's the same thing. Fingers and tentacles. I mean, does it work? Probably not. I probably should be quiet now. Alright, so their base coat is done and the lava's done, so now we're going to work on this dude. Might have been the yogurt talk earlier, too. I don't have chocolate milk, though. I have Bailey's and regular milk and almond milk. I freaking love almond milk. I don't know why. Like, I never would have tried it before, but now, I'm addicted to it. I like it better than regular milk. Unless I'm cooking with it, then I like regular milk. But almond milk is delicious. So when I'm highlighting up the red on him, basically just to smooth it over and make it look more uniform. That is true. That's not why I'm craving them. Actually, if you ever had dried squid, it's really good. It's like jerky, but squid. It's one of my favorite things. The non-spicy one. You can get it at a marketplace kind of near me called Mitsuwa. Which I need to go back there really bad. I need to get my acorns. Yeah, they have different flavors. I can't do the spicy one, of course, but the normal one's good. And it surprisingly is good. It's not like, it doesn't, I don't know how to describe the taste, but it's definitely interesting. Wish I could stop painting my hair. So just cleaning up his face right now. Oh, the cat meowing in there. Oh, this one's called Hellcat. That's why there's a cat meowing in the background. I guess that makes sense, right? Like, why does that song always have a freaking cat meowing? I never looked at the title before. Look at this. The dragon's little pudgy belly. It's hilarious. And dragon's little pudgy belly. He's so cute. Luckily, because the temperature, the paint is drying. Well, luckily and bad at the same time. So the paint is drying pretty fast, which isn't. It's good for the painting, but not for me trying to keep the colors wet on the wet palette. Because when you mix, especially if you mix colors, you don't want it drying out too fast. Otherwise, it's sometimes hard to get the exact color again. And I thought the wet palette would help, but it's still drying out. So, trying to be a little quick with some of these colors. At least the red is not a mixed color. Not yet, anyways. This guy's little ridges too, which is going to be fun to highlight up. And now I gotta do his tail. Most of him is highlighted good. My brush is not happy with me because I've been using it so much lately that it's starting to. I need to actually like go with a hardcore cleaner because it's starting to fray a little bit. Ah, oh, I gave him bones on his tail. Okay, I gotta fix him now too. It's okay, I didn't paint too much of him yet. So, really quick while I'm thinking about it, before I go too much further, just so I remember, I gave him bones on his tail, so we're gonna give him bones here too. What is that, sir? Oh, and I forgot his little claws, so since I'm doing that. It's pasta. It's hard to tell from here. But I do like pasta. It looks like someone's petting the pasta, though. So I'm gonna go in here real quick and get his little claws I forgot. Okay, give him his little claws. Now we'll do red on this whelpling here. It's hard to tell with this layer because it doesn't stand out a lot, but it actually does a really good job of blending the where the wash was together, so it doesn't look as messy, I guess is the best term. Because sometimes the wash will make things look a little splotchy, depending on the model. This kind of makes it all smoothed out, which is what we want. How did I do your wings? Okay. The only bad thing about painting multiple the same thing is I tend to try to make them look close to each other. Like if I painted one thing like purple on it, I want to make sure that it's purple on the other one too, if they're supposed to be identical. So characters are a little easier because you don't have to make them like anything. I mean, technically you don't have to make these guys like anything too. I like making them kind of symmetrical since they're part of the same brood. Your foot here. And because like Starfire was their, I guess their mommy. Not really sure if she's their mommy, but she's their brood leader. I wanted to give them the same kind of skin colors and stuff, like they're basically hatched from her. So you don't have to, it's just what I like to do. Just makes sense to me. And then for the wings, I didn't do the underside. I left more alone because I wanted it to be dark in the interior. I'm not sure what the interior of the wings are called. But I will go in and highlight the ridges. But I want the interior themselves to be darker. So while it's drying, we're going to gloss their eyes over. Give them their shiny eyes. Oops, too much. You rather do smaller layers, but even with the gloss, because if it chunks up, it could look really weird. You can almost give it like a foggy look if you put too much on, which we don't want. We don't want them to look drugged or stoned. We want them to just look alive. So those eyes are drying. I might still fix his eye because I don't know if I like how that looks. Oops, and I got too much on there. Or is it the messed up eye? I'll do a wash on the claws really quick. Washi brush. Since the claws aren't touching any, oops, cat got fur all over us without even being here. There we go. Since the claws aren't touching anything I just recently did, we can go ahead and wash them. Okay, so he's washing or drying. Oh, so he's washing. Oh my gosh. The music stopped again. I do hate this humidity though, because it's making my hair frizz like crazy. So we're gonna try to get in there and get her little claws. Or I don't know if it's a her, I guess. It could be a him too. Then the whelpling's turn to get his claws washed. Alright. So they are washing now. And always when you're using washes, always make sure to shake it up first. Otherwise you will get a very shiny, weird coating. Because it settles. But so always for washes like this, make sure you shake it up very well before using it. I did that mistake while I was painting a turtle, and it had like a really weird botchy color to it, and it was not good. Alright, got my next color, red. So this is the next layer of red I'm going to use. It's kind of dried out, so it's going to be fun. Oh, there's still some paint in there. This one we're going to water down on quite a bit though, because it's lighter than the other one and I want to make sure it blends well. We will work on the 20 dragons with this, and that will probably be all we can do today, but we will work with the 20s. This one's sitting like my cat does sometimes. So we're just doing the highest areas. You can start seeing it highlighting up there. Oops, the brush is being weird. Did not mean to throw you, dragon. I'm sorry. Start seeing it. It's a little hard to see with my camera right now, but trying so hard to touch it when it's wet and I keep dropping it almost. So these guys are going to have a lot of layers on them to give it the red blendie effect I want. But they're slowly getting the right color. It's just going to take a while. Each time I go over it, though, I'm going covering less of the area, so it gradually becomes lighter. Of course, his butt's in the air, so he's going to get a lot on his butt. The paint always dries darker, so it might look too bright at times, but then it dries and it is a bit darker. So don't worry too much if it looks like, if your paint looks lighter than it's supposed to. You can always darken it back up too, either with a wash or with mixing a darker color into it and just going over certain areas. Tries to do his little arm. This paint looks almost pink before I put it on, but as you can see, it's not pink. It just makes it redder. Well, I got more of that than I was expecting. Just a little brighter. Take a little more paint for his toes, so you can see them. And because of the wash, the inside of their mouth's all dark, so that's kind of what I want to leave it at. Oops, I guess I'll do a little bit of his underside too. Ooh, chicken Alfredo sounds delicious. I will never turn down pasta unless I'm sick. So if I ever say I don't like pasta, you know something's wrong with me or someone possessed me or something. Because I always love pasta. Like, I could live off it for the rest of my life. It's not good for you because it's full of carbs, but it is my favorite food. That and Chinese fried rice. But so, there's a finished one. And there's what we got today on them. So, of course, I got some more highlighting to do, but you can kind of see the progress going on. Their eyes aren't glazed either. I gotta glaze their eyes. But, it depends on whose floor and how clean the floor is. But, and we also oops, I almost spilt my water everywhere. So, and then we also finished the spawner today. So, yes, I can't wait to get them all together, so I'm excited. But thank you guys for joining me. I'm gonna go, I guess, update my PlayStation and get some chicken tenders because that sounds delicious right now. Even though you guys are talking about pasta, make me want pasta instead. I had pasta for lunch though, so I'm gonna go eat chicken tenders. So, thank you guys for joining me. Bye.